Okay, can we all hear me? If you can hear my voice, please give me a thumbs up. I'm sorry, my microphone was on mute. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moruf. I can see your thumbs up. Thank you very much. Mr. Courage, good morning. So I was asking, how has the week been? Mr. Courage, Mr. Moruf.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us. How's your week been? How's it been going?
Going on well.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. So I want to especially welcome everyone to the fourth day in the second week of this 3-week-long professional training on project management. It's been quite an interesting and intensive one so far. Yes, and just like yesterday we started, I think we've covered about 9 days into this training. Well, it's worth it, and I am happy that yes, we are making a significant progress in this training. Okay, so I want to say welcome again to everyone, and thank you for being a part of this learning journey. Okay, sorry, let me try to bring up my other device. I think it just went off now. Just a minute, please. Okay. So, Kendi Olatunji, thank you for joining us. How are you doing, sir? My apologies.
I'm fine. I'm very fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm trying to bring up my other device to make my job here easier. Okay, so once again, I say welcome to everyone. We were able to dive into project cost management in yesterday's class, and in today's class, we are going to be picking up from where we stopped in project cost management. Do we have okay, the attendees I'm seeing in today's class were present in yesterday's class. Okay, so we don't have any new person. So we dropped, some people actually asked that we didn't drop the assessment on project schedule management. I'm sorry about that. We dropped it on the other groups, and we failed to drop it on your own group. I guess that's why you think maybe we didn't drop the assessment. So, but we actually dropped that on the group that we excluded when we dropped the assessment. So please, let's go back to your WhatsApp group. You should be able to pick up the project schedule management assessment from there. So please, I want to encourage everyone to please attend to every of the assessments that we've dropped so far. And I'm sure that at the end of today's class, we are going to be dropping 2 more assessments at the end of today's class. So 2 more assessments. We should be able to cover project cost management in today's class and project quality management in today's class. So I'm sure, because under quality management, we just need to go straight to the point with quality management. So let's try as much as possible to give attention to those assessments that we had so far, so that it would pile up. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and let's go straight into today's class. There's a whole lot to discuss, so let us dabble into it. Let me try to bring up my screen. So please, once you can see my screen, just give me a thumbs up once you can see my screen. Okay, so can we all see my screen? If you can see my screen, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Kendi Olatunji. Thank you, Mr. Moruf. So a quick one, like we do try to remind us on the certification for this course, please let us make time. Let us try as much as possible to do our best to be able to put in for the certification while the discount offer is still very much valid. So, like we did state in the certificates document, the discount of 3 stages. One is going to be the main discount is going to be ending 3rd of May 2025. So from 4th of May, the second discount offer is going to take effect. So please just try as much as possible, try your best to make up and to secure the first discount fee for the certification for this course. Okay, so on that note, let's go straight to today's class. So the next voice you'll be hearing will be that of our resource person, Mr. James Fanny. So please let's give him our undivided attention. So please do enjoy your class.
We had started this course, project management series, for quite a while now. And in our last class, we discussed fully project cost management. So I cannot overemphasize the importance of cost management to the success of the project. It is a very great skill that, if managed well by the project manager, we can really be rest assured that, of course, the quality of the project will not be in question. And of course, you should be able to finish within the schedule, and the scope of the project should be delivered. So like I did WhatsApp today, just advising how you can get the best out of this class. You should try as much as possible to remain focused on the class. Try to do that. It will really help you to connect with me better, and try to note down your questions. Another thing I can assure you is that definitely you will get the material. Is a robust material, my research work in the field of project management, and you would enjoy it when you have it. So do not bother yourself writing much during the class. You can jot down. You can do well by paying attention to illustrations being used. So I kind of believe that illustrations drive trainings home, better. And I try as much as possible to look at people listening, to use some illustrations that they can easily connect with. So get the best out of the class. Please perfectly mute your mic and note down your questions. Thank you so much. Let's continue from where we stopped yesterday. I'm going to share my screen right now. So you can see my screen, just make a thumbs up. So we had a robust discussion about project cost management in the previous class, talking about you having to make your cost estimates, and for you to actually budget, manage, control your budget to make sure that it's actually aligned, your expenses, your actual cost actually align with what you have put in the budget. So you need to actually keep track of the expenses as a project manager, so that you wouldn't run, to a dead end while on your project. So I did mention in the previous class that one of the greatest, let me use that word, one of the greatest blunder you could ever commit as a project manager is for you to exhaust the budget, and yet the project is not completed. So when you see a lot of projects that face legal cases, maybe a legal case between the project manager and the project owner, is usually when the project manager, in most cases, comes back to demand for more funds. That's really that was not really in the earlier agreement. So I did mention in the last class that it's very, very easy for some project owner to kind of part way with delivery time of their project. So most especially if the project is not urgent, somebody can tell you that, okay, I'm giving you additional 2 months, I'm giving you additional 1 year, just make sure that you do me a very good job. So it's very possible that you have that. If you're a programmer, you have to deliver an app or a web app. Of course, the person can say, okay, fine, I understand. Maybe you are too busy or some codes just get crazy with you. So I'm giving you additional 2 months. I hope you'll be able to finish it. So it's very easy for them to give you additional time, but it is not easy for them to give you additional money. It's very difficult for people, project owner, to give you additional money. And that is why you have to be very careful. So I did a lot of calculation yesterday, talking about some estimations, some estimating methodologies that you can make use of. We talk about the analogous methodology, estimating methodology. We talk about parametric, okay? We talk about top-down budgeting. We talk about bottom-up budgeting also. So I stopped on bottom-up budgeting yesterday, the previous class rather, and then I promised to pick it up from there. So hopefully this night also, I have a lot to handle. So we'll be dealing with project quality management also, so that we can have a whole lot tomorrow for our project human resource management. So rolling wave budgeting is the next that I want to explain to you. And of course, when you go back to the early stage of our project management series, we talked about waterfall framework of project management. I will talk about agile project management. So when we are talking about agile project management, and when you have some projects that you know that you want to spend the fund in waves. Like you may have let's say you have a budget of $30,000 to spend. I've been using this 30,000 a lot. Maybe there's a $30,000 that is coming my way. So $30,000, okay, maybe is your budget. So, and then you now look at it that, okay, the expenses will actually, you are going to actually allocate them in waves of your project. So when I say waves, you will remember how your wave diagram actually looks like. Okay. So for some people that are science inclined, they may quickly connect to what I'm actually discussing. So this is, you can say a cycle like this is a wave. So meaning that maybe the first 3 months of the project, the first 3 months, you now say that, okay, the first 3 months, because of the activities that we are going to do, so let's say we are going to spend about $10,000. So you call that's the first wave of your project. So it's more or less like agile, but it is not really exactly agile, but it is applicable to agile. So when you see that your budget is not a straight up budget like that, it is actually something that you have to split up the way you are going to make use of the money that you have actually put into the budget. So definitely you can use rolling wave budgeting. So if we want to say in a nutshell, we will say that rolling wave budgeting is an approach that involves allocating funds in waves, with each wave representing a specific period or phase of your project. So, for example, I can say that instead of me to say the budget I have, the total budget I have for this project is this amount, I can charge the project owner that, okay, this is what it will cost us to do the foundation. So rather than giving him a total sum of what the budget will be. I'm only giving him in wave. So you give us, this is the budget for foundation. So you release the money for foundation. Because after that, we will now still do budget for us to actually raise the building, maybe to lintel. And then after that, we do the budgeting for roofing. You will see that this kind of budgeting methodology has a lot of advantages. And one of the advantages that you have is that it helps you to adapt to changing project requirements. For example, there are some projects that even the project owner doesn't really have the good idea of all that he wants out of the project from the beginning. Just know that he has a project like this. He does not really know the exact. It might be that he doesn't really have, maybe it's an app, and then the person is bringing the app, and then you're asking him that, what would be the features that you need on this app? Just know that, okay, I want to create it for my company. There are so many things that what my company can actually do with the app. And then the first thing is that what is actually paying you for the first, maybe the landing page. So the budget that you first charge is that, okay, let's create a landing page. When you are done with that, the project owner might say that I would like my client to be able to make payments. I want you to actually implement payment method on my website. Then you give him another budget. So the project owner can change the requirements. It can always tell you, it can add the requirement. And the more he's actually doing that, it means that the person does not really have the picture of the scope of his project from beginning. So you can easily adapt. When they say add this, you only put forth the budget for that. When they say add that, so it's like a wave of, phases. It's like a wave of sprints, okay, within the larger project. Another thing is that it helps you to reduce the uncertainty and risk, because you can take care of risk easily. Because what you are concerned with is the first phase at hand. You are not giving him the express budget. Okay, do this for me. Okay, I may not be able to tell you this because we have a lot of changing. I mean, the market is not porous. The market is fluctuating, so I cannot give you the entire budget. But what I can do for you is that, okay, I will tell you in face of this project, and I will tell you what it will take. So by the time you give the person, let's say this is the budget for foundation, you know that as it's releasing the money, you are putting it in place. If after that, the person actually requires that, okay, fine, I want you to raise it, then you can actually do budget with that based on the current price of the materials you are going to use in the market. So it helps you to actually, reduce uncertainty and risk. We're talking about risk here. We're talking about, either you not getting the scope right, or either you, charging below what the project will actually cost. So, and it's also support. It is not really agile, but it supports, agile project management. What is agile project management? That is when you are not using the waterfall framework. Projects that you deliver bit by bit. Projects that you approach bit by bit. Those are the agile, or we call it sprints. Okay, or we call it adaptive methodology. So it is an adaptive in the sense that you can easily adapt to changes. You can easily adjust. You are not giving the person an express, overview. You are telling him that based on this one we want to do, this is what it will cost us. And when you are done with that, you are charging for the next thing. You are budgeting for the next that. You are budgeting for this. Sometimes you can apply, the journey of education to this. Okay, for many who have tried it, who are self-schooled themselves or self-trained themselves in school, you will see that you cannot really say, oh, I'm keeping 10 million naira somewhere. This is what I'm going to use for my master's degree. So you may not be able to really do that. But you must have a supportive means of funding your education. So what does that mean? You have a means of funding it, because you may get to year 2, the cost of everything might actually be higher than what you actually think of. Like currently in Nigeria, where we have a lot of universities, both government and even private, they just multiply their school fees, really increase in geometric progression. So that kind of project, education, for example, or a degree program, is something that you can't really say this is the amount I'm going to spend. So you just need to face it as it comes. So it is a wave. The wave of year one will come, the wave of year two will come, you overcome, you make the expenses, the wave of year three will come. Even on your project, you can't from year one know how much you will spend on your project, the project you will do in year 5 or year 4. So it is like a rolling wave kind of budget. Okay, that's what we can actually attach to that illustration that I believe that you can easily connect with. So the only one of the disadvantages is that you may have to do the work over and over again. So there is a need for you to frequently prepare budgets and update it. Okay, so it makes your budget unstable. So your budget is not really stable. You can't really say that this is the amount I'm going to expertly spend on everything. So it is not stable. Okay, and when you have some contracts of fixed price contract, where they will say, okay, we want to give you this contract, this is the amount that we are paying. No, rolling wave kind of budgeting does not work for that kind of contract. You dare not try it, okay, because it's already fixed. So even if anything changes, it is on you as a project manager. And then you have to be a very, very strong project manager to use this kind of budgeting. So the practical examples is in line with what we have used yesterday, where you have software development, and then the project is that you want to develop a new mobile app. Then you see this person is now saying, okay, week 1 to 4 is budgeting for $50,000, and that one is on requirement gathering. For him to gather the requirements, okay, will you need these features? Will you need that? Will you need about us page? Will you need the landing page and everything? So in gathering that, what it will cost in the project manager, he already made budget for that week 1 to 4. So that budget will actually go for week 1 to 4. And then by the time the project owner got that from you and said that, okay, the requirement is done. Okay, I want you to actually design it for me. Okay, we budget again, and then we say that will actually take place within the period of the 5th week to 8th week, and then it's going to cost this amount. So the budget bit by bit like that, and not just an express budget. So likewise in construction projects, as we make use of the example yesterday. So in bit by bit, what will be the equipment procurement? Let's buy all our equipment within the first 3 months. Okay, this is the amount it's going to cost. So we face that. That's the budget for that. When we are done, then we prepare the budget for the installations and know the duration it will take us. When we are done, then we prepare the budget for the training, because we want to actually train those that we are going to use for the installation, and then for testing within the 10th month to 12th month, and this is the amount it's going to cost. So it's bit by bit budgeting. Okay, that is not far from the next one, which is agile budgeting. These actually focus, strictly on agile project management. So it's an iterative kind of budgeting. So when we say iterative, means that what you do, you perform your project in sprints. Okay, remember we talked about the process groups, where we say you are going to initiate our process groups. Just what we have discussed in I know I discussed this a lot when we're actually doing project integration management. So you initiate, you plan, you execute, you review, which we call monitoring and controlling. Monitoring and controlling. And then you close. So these are the 5 process groups that we have. So when we are talking about you performing a project iteratively, it means that, for example, I have a project that, it is filled with a lot of uncertainties, and it is very complex. So I cannot even know everything that we have to do from beginning. So because of this, to save yourself the trouble as a project manager, why don't you take it one one step at a time. So you do it one step at a time because you don't really know what everything will actually take. Even the entire scope, you may not really know the entire scope. For example, the example we can do is in the software project management. Okay, so you can say, let's first focus on the design. And in this design that you want to make, you are going to pass through the whole entire process groups. You are going to initiate your design. You are going to plan how the design will look like, and then you execute. That's when the design will be done. Okay, actually. And after the execution is done, then you have to check if what you have designed is in line with what the project owner actually requested of you. And after you have done that, you present it to the project owner, he will check it and then grant you that it is okay. So once he says it's okay, that is already closed. So that phase or that sprint is already closed. And then you take the next one. Maybe the next one is that you want to write your code, writing of code. Now, in writing of code is another iteration or is another sprint. You go back again, you initiate, you plan, you execute, you review, and then you close. So that is how you will be doing the project bit by bit until you have the whole project. So it's just like a chunking method of division in mathematics. When you say you are chunking something down, it means that they give you a log of wood. It's like being given a log of wood, okay? And you have to break these woods down. So instead of you to face the whole of this, you first cut a bit of this off. And then when you cut it off, you bring it out here. You split all of it into smaller pieces. You execute it. You cut another little one. You bring it out. You execute it. You bring another this. You execute it. So that is iteration. So exactly that is what we can link with agile budgeting. So agile budgeting is an iterative and adaptive budgeting because you are uncertain of everything that your budget will have to, what your total budget will be. So you choose to actually do your budgeting in iteration. Okay, so it helps for you to actually solve problems of uncertainty. So if you look at the advantages, it aligns with agile project management methodologies. Okay, there will be flexibility and adaptability in your budget. Okay, and it also helps you to have a collaboration and stakeholders engagement. Why? Because every time you want to start another sprint or another iteration, you have to still go back to these people. That yes, so you are forced to give them feedback. It makes you to engage them because you have to go back and say, oh, we are not done with foundation. So the budget for foundation, we have used it for the foundation, and the foundation is now presented to you. Do you think it's okay? Okay, it's fine. So if there's no change request, okay, you now tell them. The next thing now is that we want to actually mold the blocks that we're going to use to raise the building. So how much will that cost? You present the budget again. So it makes you to frequently have to engage and collaborate with your stakeholders. Okay, you will be able to prioritize, those aspects of the project that are of high value to you. Because when you are budgeting, you wouldn't want to budget, you wouldn't want to make budget for things that you think that they are really less important to the project. So you are forced to prioritize when you are actually making your budget with agile budgeting, and it helps you to have a continuous improvement. You always have room for improvement. Like if you make mistake in the previous budget, you have learned your lesson. By the time you are making budgeting for the next iteration, definitely you must have actually corrected most of the things that you made as a mistake. So that is agile budgeting. Okay. So, and I've actually put a whole lot of examples that can assist you to understand. Now, let's get to the tracking. And that's in fact, if you have not really been paying much attention before, this is where you get to actually double up your attention, because we want to really look at some tools, some, techniques that you can use as a project manager to check the status of your project in terms of cost management to really know if you are doing that. You know, I've been mentioning keeping track, having to track your expenses. It's not something that you just stand up and say, okay, how much have we spent? How much is it? It's not just as easy as that. Okay, there are methodologies that you can use. So the first one I will discuss is end value management. End value management. So we call it EVM. So let me check on you if you are actually following up with the class. You have people following me in the class. Please give me thumbs up if you're actually following. Ezekiel Apan, thank you so much. All right. Okay, Dada Emmanuel, thank you so much. Yeah, I can see Jeff, I can see Monday. Okay, a lot of people are really alive with me in the class. Thank you so much. So let's move to discussing end value management. Okay, so you use end value management to measure project performance and progress. So it helps you to be able to look at how well you are doing with scope, how well you are doing with the schedule, how well you are doing with your resource management. So I also discussed this when I was when we were actually having training on project schedule management. So we want to see how we can link it to costs. Okay, I briefly mentioned about the cost, and I kind of promised that when we are doing cost management, I'm going to lay emphasis on it. So there are key things that you need to understand first before you can be able to use end value management very well. So there are some terminologies I will explain to you. The first one is what we call planned value, PV. Planned value is what we can refer to as your budgeted cost of work schedule. You can see now. So planned value combine both the cost and the schedule together. Let me give you an instance. You can say that in the first, 3 months of my project, how much of the work should I have done, between the 3 months? How much of this work are we expected to have finished? So within the first 3 months, we can say that we must be done with 50% of the work. And how much are we expected, to really, how much of amount of money would we have actually spent, So if the total, if the total amount maybe is $30,000 or anything, maybe we are now saying that we are expecting that we should spend $15,000. So this is actually being put together for us to now know that what is the worth of the work that we want, that we expect ourselves to have completed within that particular month. So that is your planned value. The value that was really planned that you must have achieved within a specific period of time in your schedule. Then we discuss what we call end value. End value is actually the actual value that you have now earned ever since you have been working. So what is the end value? The end value is actually the value that you have earned from the word end. When we are making earnings, when you are making earnings, is what you have accrued to yourself. So having started this project, yes, you plan to achieve this particular value. There is a previously planned value. If somebody that said that within this year, I want to be able to make a savings of $5 million. By the end of this year, I want to see myself having $5 million as my savings from all the work I've done this year. That is your planned value. Now, when the year now actually ended, you will now go and check your accounts. Oh, how much have I really saved? Did I meet up with my planned savings that I have, which is your planned value? So the actual amount now that you check in your account, let's say it is now 4.5 million. That 4.5 million become your end value. So 4.5 million, that's the actual one that you have earned, is your 4.5 million naira at the end of the year that you check. But the one you planned that you must have actually earned or saved is 5 million naira. So you should know the difference. So what you plan to actually what you plan as a value to have on your project and what you actually earn. And then aside from the value that we have earned, we can now know how much has it really cost us. What is the actual cost that we have spent to actually have that value that we have said. So when you are looking at planned value, look at it like what? What's the work of the work we have done within 3 months? Oh, the worth of this work is $50,000. The worth of what we have done. And by saying $50,000, we are not really mentioning the amount alone. We are mentioning even the time we have spent, even considering the amount of work we have done. So the worth of this work we have done, we are going to actually represent it in money. And the real worth we plan to have, we express it in money. The real worth we have now achieved now, which is the end value, we also express it in money, and then we can now calculate our actual cost. Now, what you will have, for the sake of those that may be writing a PMI exam and for the sake of our own assessment also, you can now calculate your variance from what you have. So your cost variance, what is the meaning of cost variance? That's the variation between what you have actually spent and what you actually plan to have spent. So it is your EV minus your AC, which is end value minus your actual cost. That will give us the idea of your cost variance, the variation in your cost. And then your schedule variance is your EV also minus your PV, which is your planned value. And then the third one is your cost performance index. I'm going to actually show you how to make readings with all these things. The value you have, what you will use, how you will interpret it on your project. That's exactly where I'm going. Okay, but all these calculations are very, very important. They are very, very important. So, and then you have your schedule performance index also, SPI. So your CPI is EV divided by your actual cost, and your SPI is your EV. Just the best way for you to cram this formula is to know that your EV always starts everything. When you're doing your cost variance, it is EV minus actual cost. When you're doing your schedule variance, it is actually your EV minus your PV. When you are doing your CPI, EV divided by actual cost. When you are doing your SPI, it is EV divided by your PV. Just know that everything is started by EV, and then you are good to go. So let's look at some calculations, and then let's look at our interpretations. I want us to look at the calculation first. So the first example I have here, okay, is this. Building a new office complex. Our planned value, which is the work we have scheduled to do, is that it will be $100,000. Our end value is the actual work that we have now completed. End value comprises both the amount we have spent, both the amount of work we have done. We calculate together to know the value of what we have earned in both schedule and spending expenses. But the planned value is actually bent on the schedule of the work of that work we must have achieved within that period of time is your planned value. So we have that one as $100,000. Our end value is $80,000. That's the work that we have completed, like I've explained earlier. And then you have your actual cost. How much have you spent within that period? So the planned value is showing us that within 3 months, perhaps this is the worth of work we must have done. Now, within that 3 months also, within 3 months, this is the worth of the work we must have done. That's the planned value. Within these 3 months, how much have we spent? That is the actual cost. But what is the worth of the project? That is the end value. So it is very important that you really manage the understanding of this. So we can now begin to find our cost variance. Since we already have the 3 things that we need, we have our actual cost. It has been given to us, which is the actual cost incurred, $90,000. Don't forget, our planned value is $100,000, okay? And our end value is $80,000. So how do we calculate the cost variance? Our cost variance now, which is CV, we already know that what? It is what? EV minus the actual cost. And our EV that we have here is $80,000. So that would be 80,000 minus the actual cost, which is 90,000 in dollars. So if you calculate it, it will give you minus $10,000. What does that mean? Anytime you get your cost variance in negative form, if your cost variance gives you negative, that is, what you get as the answer is negative. The interpretation of this is that what? You have spent more than what you have budgeted. So we call it over budget. Over budget means that what? Don't interpret it like over budget, like maybe you make excess budget. No, you have spent more than necessary. That's the interpretation. You have overspent. You have spent more than what you have budgeted. That's what it means. So you are in the negative region. So if you can interpret the meaning of negative, negative is not a good vibe. It's a negative vibe. That is how you can actually what? Connect with it psychologically. So your negative cost variance shows that you are not doing well in your budget. You have spent more than necessary. And then if we calculate our schedule variance, in this case, the schedule variance would be that we have SV equals to end value minus your planned value. That is how you calculate your schedule variance. And what's your EV? Your EV, which is end value, as we have been given in this question, is $80,000. The planned value is $100,000, which is the worth of the work we plan to have achieved within that period of time. But unfortunately, we still have what? Negative $20,000. What does this mean? The interpretation of the negative schedule variance shows that you are behind schedule. You are not doing well in terms of what? The period of time you have set for yourself. So you can see these calculations would always help you to know that you're actually behind schedule. You don't need anybody to tell you. And you have overspent more than the budget that you have made. Let's look at how CPI can actually help you. Of course, I still have it already been discussed ahead. Your CPI, okay, let me, okay, let's save that. We'll come back to CPI, okay? I will largely actually explain CPI and SPI and all that. So let's just stay on this because I'm still explaining just what or how you can use your end value. Still your end value that you are using. So in your CPI, let me explain briefly here. CPI is actually EV divided by your AC. So if you do that calculation very well, it will be that you're having $80,000 divided by actual cost, which is $90,000. So if you do that, it will give you 0.89. So we do in CPI and SPI, this is what we do. We do less than 1 equals to 1 greater than 1. When your CPI, okay, is less than 1, it means that your cost estimate is underperforming. It is not doing well. It is less than 1. It means that what you are underperforming with your budget. You are overspending. You have overspent. You have not done well with your cost estimate or following your budget. You have not really followed it. So that is why you saw here where we have underperforming. You are underperforming because what we got here is 0.89 and 0.89 falls to this region. 0.89 is actually less than 1. So it means that what you are not doing fine. What happens when your CPI is equal to 1? When your CPI is 1, it means that what you are exactly on budget. It means that what if you have actually what made plans to spend $10,000, you have spent exactly $10,000, nothing more, nothing less. So that is when your CPI is equal to 1. You are on, but when it is greater than 1, that is the beautiful region. When it is greater than 1, it actually shows that you have actually, spent less than budget what you have budgeted for. And every project manager actually wanted that. You plan to have spent for the work of this job, you plan to have spent $10,000, but you have been able to save yourself some dollars. You have spent just $850. You have spent just $8,000 rather than spending $10,000. So you have saved $2,000, and that can also be injected into some other activities, because there may be some times along the line that you still overspend. You have to make, use that to make up for what other things that may actually happen along the line when you are executing the project. So it is very important that we learn this. What with SPI also, the same thing, your schedule performance indicator, okay, also would be judged based on what we have here. So it could also, SPI, when it is also less than 1, it means that what? You are behind. You are behind schedule. You are behind schedule. When it is equals to 1, you are on the schedule. I wanted to spend 3 days, you have spent exactly 3 days. But when it is less than 1, it means that what? Rather than what? Spending what? 3 days, perhaps you are already what? Spending up to 4-5 days. And then this means that what? You have actually what? Achieved it earlier than planned for. That's greater than 1. You plan to finish this thing within 5 days, but now you have finished it within 3 days. Good of you as a project manager. So this is very important for us to actually note. In fact, I've discussed a whole lot of things here, and that will actually help us to move forward very fast. So let's look at the other example here for the software. This is your planned value, okay? Okay, this is your planned value. I wanted to test some of us. Okay, so they gave us your planned value, they gave us EV, they gave us what? AC. I want to see those people among us that are really following up with the class. Okay, moderator, I want people to actually signify. So please signify for me. Signify. I just want to ask basic questions. It's just to help to see. Okay, Monday is signifying. Mr. Moderator, are you there?
Yes, I'm here with you.
Okay. Monday, David, they are signifying.
Monday,
Okay.
David.
So David, please help me to call David to unmute.
So Mr. David, can you unmute your mic?
David, please unmute your mic.
David Colade.
Yeah, okay. All right, David, thank you so much. Now you have been given this planned value. What can you see there? What is the planned value? Amount. What amount are you seeing here for the planned value? Can you see my screen? David, are you there?
About the planned value.
What amount are you seeing there?
I'm seeing 150. No, you can't cancel it. But I'm seeing 150.
That's not 150. Look at that. That's $50,000. Right? I don't think you are in a quiet place. I don't think so. Let's try someone else. Okay. Don't worry. All right. Okay. All right. Please call on someone else for me, Mr. Moderator.
I'm still 50,000.
Okay. Is that Chukwu, right?
Yes.
Chukwu Obaka.
Okay.
Yes.
Chukwu, you are with me. So what can you see there in your PV?
I'm seeing $50,000.
Thank you. What can you see in your EV?
I'm seeing 60,000.
What can you see in your AC, actual cost?
$55,000.
So how do you calculate your cost variance in this place? Tell us.
Okay, the cost variance in this place is the PV minus the EV. The EV minus the PV.
EV minus cost
The
variance is what?
PV, the PV minus the EV.
No. Note what I've told you. Just the easier way for you to actually memorize this formula is that every formula starts with the EV. Okay?
Yes, yes.
Planned value has to do with the schedule, with time. Actual cost has to do with what? Cost that we're actually working on. You understand? So whenever you want to find cost variance, what you are making use of is EV and what? AC, which is the actual cost. Do you understand that?
Okay.
When you are dealing with anything that has to do with your schedule, like schedule variance, what you are making use of is what? EV and what? PV. Your planned value has to do with schedule. Your actual cost has to do with cost. Okay? While EV is what you earn from both of them. Do you understand that?
Okay.
So your cost variance is your what? EV minus what? Your AC. Do you understand that now? So do that for me.
Yes.
What is your EV here? $60,000, right?
Minus
What is your AC minus 55,000? So what will you have?
it gives you
$5,000, right? Which is positive, right?
It's positive, yes.
So since that it is positive, we will say that what? It is under budget. Don't see this one like under budget. Don't read it like with information of under budget. It is under the budget, meaning that what? You have spent less than the budget. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because it is positive. You have spent less than the budget. So you are doing well on your budget. Assuming that your budget had been $10,000, it means that you have spent just about $9,000 or less. Do you understand? So let's look at SV in this case now. So for you to calculate your SV here, as I've explained, what formula will you use? That one has to do with schedule. What formula will you use? The formula will always start with the EV. Don't forget. That's your
EV.
EV minus what?
PV.
Minus PV. Exactly. So your PV here is 50,000, right? And your EV is 60,000. So 60,000 minus 50,000. That's what?
10,000.
So that is $10,000. Is that positive or negative?
Positive.
So what does that tell you? It means that what? You are ahead of what?
For the budget.
You are ahead of schedule. You are dealing with schedule now. SG means schedule variance. Schedule means time. Okay? Schedule is the time frame that you have set for the project. So if your SV is actually positive, it means that you are ahead of your schedule. You are working ahead of it. What does that mean? It means that what you're supposed to do within 5 days, you have already completed it within 3 days.
3 days.
We get this.
Yes.
So if you are to calculate your CPI in this case, I told you just the way to understand the formula is that what everything is EV. CPI means what? Cost performance index. Okay. So your cost performance index is that what you are using EV divided by, since it is still cost, we know that it is AC that has to do with cost. Do you understand the actual cost? So you are dividing. In this case, you are not subtracting, you are dividing. So whatever you get here, you will now judge, is it less than 1? Is it equal to 1? Is it what? Greater than 1? So based on what I've analyzed in this place, if it is less than 1, for the schedule, you are behind schedule. If it is what equals to 1, you are on schedule. If it is greater than 1, you are ahead of your schedule. Do you get that?
Yes.
If you want to interpret it for the CPI, which has to do with cost, if it is less than 1, it means that what you have spent more than necessary. If it is what equals to 1, it means that what you have spent exactly what you budgeted. If it is greater than 1, you have spent less than what you have budgeted. You get that?
I do.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I just use that for us to actually get this done. So you can mute your mic now. So I believe that with you following now, with what I demonstrated with you, many people must have actually adjusted to what I've explained all this while. So This is what you have for your EV. You calculate your cost variance, you calculate your what? Schedule variance, you calculate your CPI and your SPI, and then it helps you to actually what? Track your project very well. So the cost variation analysis, I've explained it. I just splitted it out again for you so that you would now see it separately being what? Treated in the material that you are going to have. So let's do one more calculation, okay, in the cost variance. So your cost variance, look at this. A manufacturing company implemented CVA, cost variance analysis, to manage costs, okay, for a new production line. The baseline cost, what it means is that what the amount they want to spend, the projected to spend, okay, is what? $500,000. But the actual cost after 3 months is what? $425,000. Okay, so what would be their what? Their cost variance. The cost variance would be that what? The what they plan to spend, which is the baseline. Okay, well, this is the amount that they plan to actually spend. Okay, but this is the what? Amount they have actually what? Spent. What does that actually tell you? It shows that what? They spent less than the amount they actually wanted to spend. And that's a very good one for projects. What is good for every project manager is to actually what? Manage the fund in such a way that what? You are even spending less than what you actually want to what? Spend. So it helps a lot. So I actually what? Analyze that separately also. And then we can do, there's a lot of calculations there. We don't just have to what? Go through everything. So let's look at the best practices, or we look at some limitation. It's very important. So using your CPI, cost performance index, what will you be able to achieve? You'll be able to evaluate cost performance. Okay, are you underspending? Are you overspending? Or you are spending the actual amounts? You're able to identify potential cost overruns. Cost overruns means that what spending more than necessary. So you'll be able to actually identify what is the potential what cost overruns. That means I'm actually not doing fine. I'm spending more than necessary. And that will help you to take corrective actions. What is the actions that you will actually, what will be your reaction when your CPI is actually less than 1? What will be your reaction? It means that you're overspending. Then you have to make necessary adjustments. If you are the site manager or the project manager, you will check, are there some wastage? Is it that they are spilling cement? How can we budget that we are going to use 40 bags of cement and there is not enough? It's not today I've been doing this job. I know that 40 bags of cement. So somebody might actually be that maybe they're actually stealing. There may be some of your team workers that when they come to site, what they do is talk. They will not be able to finish the work actually earmarked for them on that day. So if you get you thinking as a project manager, you will be forced to think that what is the problem. So and take corrective actions. It will also help you to actually improve project profitability. If you are able to manage your costs, of course, you will be able to say that this project actually did fine in form of profitability. And then it will make your stakeholders to be satisfied. What every stakeholder wants to hear is that, yes, we were able to actually work within the budget. That is when you are going to have a round of applause. No stakeholders on the project would like to hear there is still more, so we have not roofed it, and so how much do you have left? It's 0 naira, 0 kobo. In fact, we are owing some people 5 million naira already. It's going to call for a lot of questioning. No matter how best you say as a project manager, you want to defend it. Excuse me. So no matter how best you could say that you want to actually defend that, most stakeholders will get you being questioned a lot. Because the belief of some of them will be that maybe there's an hanky-panky that you're actually playing on the cost of the project. So CPI allows you to be able to, it will help you to to satisfy your stakeholders. So I want to give us some, some clue. Because when you are talking about less than one, how less than one is it? Okay? If you are saying greater than one, how greater than one is it? So there are some color code that we normally use for us to know how terrible are you really doing. You may be doing terrible because, for example, 0.99 is still less than 1. But you can't compare somebody that still managed to have a CPI of 0.99 with somebody that had was 0.45. This person is doing so terribly, because the gap between 0.45 and 0.99, they are not the same. So it is not enough for you to say, oh, I'm less than 1, but I'm not doing well. But what is the grade of you not doing well? What is that? How do you quantify not doing well? Are you really in big trouble, or you are just the trouble is still something that is manageable? So I will give you some codes that can actually help you. When you have between 0.8 to 0.9, which is still less than 1, we call it yellow flag. All of us know what yellow is. Well, for the lovers of football, when they give you yellow card, of course, it means that what you have made a blunder on the field, but the referee is warning you, meaning that what you are being warned. You can still play on. Okay, no sanction yet. You are just being warned that you should not commit that word foul again. So when you have 0.8 to 0.9 as a project manager, as your CPI, trust me, it's just a yellow flag for you. You are not doing that bad, even though you are doing bad. So it may be that somebody that planned to spend $10,000 and now you have spent $10,100. So you have spent just $100 more. There's still a way that person along the project, he may still be able to actually make do with that overspend that he has just committed. But you see somebody that is already now falling to 0.7 to 0.79. What do you say? That is a red flag. Significant cost issue. It means that the cost issue you're having now is now significant. For example, $10,000 has become $12,000 for you. $2,000 is not a child's play for you to actually cover up. As easy as it may be for you to actually cover up, maybe having spent $100 more. That one may be easier. But when we have spent $3,000 more than budgeted, that is a very big issue. Okay. But when you have 0.9 to 1.1, we call it green flag. It means that you are cost efficient. You are cost efficient. Okay, you are really doing fine. You have crossed above 1. It means that instead of you to spend $10,000, you have spent $9,500. You are doing fine. But when it is very much above 1, like having 1.1 to 1.2, it means that you are really doing excellently. No flag again. This one is an excellent performance because you are the cost efficiency is not very, very high. Meaning that instead of you to spend $10,000, let's say you have spent just $8,000. So you have saved yourself $2,000. That is not a child's play. So it's very important. If you use this to measure up, you know how bad is it and how good is it. That's why we are using those color codes. How good is it and how bad is it? So when your CPI is actually increasing, it means that you are improving. Your cost efficiency is actually improving. When your CPI is decreasing, let's say it's going down, it means that your cost efficiency is declining. And when your CPI is stable, it means that you are working within the budget. So it is very important for us to and then what I've explained even in the previous class, I just still stated it again, which we are talking about cost risk management. With all this, okay, we are now looking at how do you manage the risk. Okay, so when we are talking about the risk management for every risk management, whether we are talking about health risk management or anything whatsoever, it is still the same process you go through. In cost risk management, you have to what? Identify, assess, and mitigate potential cost risk that can impact your what? Project budget. So you want to really what? Identify them. What are the things that can actually what? Make me to spend more? That's cost risk management. You want to identify before you start a project, what are the things that I may end up spending more on? For anybody that wants to actually have an event, you need to actually know, okay, what are the things that will really take my money if I do not manage it? For example, feeding your guests might even take you more than what? The amount that you are using to rent the hall. If you don't manage what? The number of people that will attend your event. So now that I know that what, if I make the event and open something, I'm a very popular somebody, about 5,000 people may actually want to come and what, attend this, and I don't have money to what, to feed them. So to plan this event, okay, why don't I actually do, you should attend by invitation. So if I choose to just what, give 200 people invitation, those are the 200 people I will budget to feed. So you see now, you have been able to identify from the beginning that you want to do this event, that what, feeding your guests will bring you a lot of cost risk. And now you have been able to what? Assess it. Because the assessment is now that if I make it an open invitation, I can have 5,000 people based on my popularity. I know a lot of people will want to come. So how do I mitigate it? Mitigating it now is that what? I want to print invitation card so that I will give them invitation and there will be a security mounting the door only strictly what? By invitation. I've been to events before where if you are being given invitation and you carry somebody to join you, trust me, is that you give the invitation to the person to go in, you stay outside, or the person stay outside, you go in. Strictly by invitation. I've been to an event like that before. Strictly by invitation. In fact, the event owner, that's the celebrant of the day, you will not even see the person. You won't be able to even reach the person by phone. They will avoid any means of contact that you now say, oh, I have somebody outside. Can you help me to tell them that I should go in? And I really respect that a lot. I wish I can have an event like that. So strictly by invitation. So that is mitigating. You have already made plans that is 200 people I want to feed. And then you don't want to experience when somebody says, I did not get food or anything like that. So you have made plans for it. And it's only those 200 you want in the hall. It is not bad. So as a project manager, you may identify some of these things on your project. And then you'll be able to say, okay, I must cut this down. Instead of us to go through this particular method of fixing this, let us use this. So that you know what methodology you have to substitute, what are the processes you have to eliminate, what are the processes you have to just kind of manage so that the cost will not go out of hand. So what are the processes? Like I've explained, you identify, you assess, you prioritize, you mitigate, and then you monitor. Monitoring means that you need to check if you actually following what you have planned or not. And then I kind of help with just giving you some differences. Some people normally use this cost estimation and cost budgeting. I've actually made that explanation in the previous class, but here it is actually stated for you to have it you really want to equip yourself, for you to know the difference between cost estimation and cost budgeting. There are differences there. So ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to project quality management as I put an end to project cost management. Can we have emoji that shows that you are with me in the class? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you are with us in the class, let's have your emoji. Okay, Anachi, Alex, Ezekiel, I can see that. Thank you so much. Abioye, Yusuf, all right, thank you so much. So I appreciate you for staying with me in the class. We have to just be precise on the quality management, okay? We just have to be precise, okay, on the quality management. what is quality management? What quality management addresses is that we want the project to meet its objectives. We want to produce exactly what the project owner has asked us to do. We want to deliver the values that the stakeholders are expecting. We want to meet up with the standards that have been given to us. That is the aim and objective of project quality management. And the question in your mind should be that, how do we really go about this? How are we going to measure that what the project actually meet up with the quality? Of course, it's very simple. Now, if it is an organization, then we need to actually look at their concepts. What are the key concepts that will tell us, assure us of the quality of the project? Are there quality policy? There are organizations that have quality policy. Okay? That's the policy that shows that they are committed to quality. I care so much about the quality of the training that people actually benefit from our organization. That is why everything has to be details, and we are always open to you, giving what your review. Why? Because we want to actually deliver quality. We want to be rest assured that what we are giving you is actually matching up with the values that you are expecting. It is not easy as a trainer to be on the training for 2 hours at a stretch. But trust me, it is much more not easy from your hands to pay attention to a training for 2 hours. For me, it might not be easy, but it is much more not easy for you to have an attention span of 2 hours. For somebody to stay on a training for 2 hours, that person must have been getting values from that training. That is why the quality control is very important. And your feedback in most cases shows that, we are doing fine. Okay? Or there are some adjustments we need to still put in so that we can actually get you satisfied. You are the stakeholders. You are really the project owners. Without you in the classroom right now, I will be here just wasting my time. So it becomes compulsory that quality must be delivered unto you. Much work and research must be put in place. Applicable illustration must be used. Like one of the attendees in the previous class suggested, I would appreciate if I see pictures coming up. Then that must actually be implemented. There may be some people among the training attendees that may have the same view, so that you can actually deliver quality to everybody. So as it's applicable to training projects, likewise, it's applicable to all the projects that you're handling. It is not about your standard in most cases. It is about the expected standard of the stakeholders and the expected standard of the project owner. Let me give you some illustration. My father of blessed memory happened to be a fashion designer. And being a fashion designer, he was also a very devoted Christian who has some reservations about some styles that female gender normally put on. But as much as he was an elder, when you come to meet him, because he actually is a unisex fashion designer, meaning he could sew for female, he could sew for male. So when you come, you tell him that, I want my clothes, this style is what I want, sir. I want it to be exposed here, I want it to be exposed there. Despite the fact that he happened to be an elder, of course, his own children, he might not actually allow them to actually put on something like that. People that are his relatives, he may preach to them and everything. But you as a customer, that is what you wanted, he had to sew it for you. Based on his own quality of you putting on style, his own quality is that you must be properly and modestly dressed. But you, as a project owner now, you are coming that what my own modesty, my own quality of this style is that what let there be off shoulder here, let there be off shoulder there, so that for me you have to satisfy the client, because that's what the client actually wanted. So you may have reservations. It may not be your own standard, but the project owner says that what this is what I want. That's his own taste. So I've been explaining now is that who dictates the quality of the project? The project owner is the one that dictates the quality. The project stakeholders are the ones to dictate the quality. You are not to dictate the quality. You are to work as a project manager to deliver that quality that has been stated to you. So it is very important. The quality objectives. You must know, what are the specific measurable targets? What are the things that will really show that what, yes, you have actually what, deliver what, the quality. Is it the size that what the project owner has been emphasizing on, that, oh, the size of the bedroom must be this large. If the bedroom is smaller than that, you do not use the accurate measure. That means that what, it is less than quality. It is not really what the material that you use this time. You did not deliver the actual size. You have not delivered quality based on the what expectation and the requirement of the project owner. What is the standards? Are you working in a non-industry that have some set standards? Okay, maybe there are some regulatory bodies that say that this is how this thing must be done. Okay, or there are some organizations that normally set the standard. You have to follow the standard so that you can deliver a quality project. What are the metrics of the quality? Okay, are there some metrics that you use? Okay, some parameters that you use to actually know whether it is of quality or not. For example, in cooking, there are quality. So when you are eating quality food, you can tag that as what balanced diet. So we use that to actually judge. Is your diet really balanced? Are you really taking the measure all together? Is there protein? Is there this? Is there vitamin? So the mixture of everything actually shows whether what you are eating quality food or not. So those are the metrics. The metrics that we use in nutrition is that what? There must be carbohydrates, then protein, vitamins, fat and oil, all these roughages and all that. That is the metrics. So in your project also, you must actually watch out for the metrics. Okay? Is it the kind of materials you will use? Is it about the size? Is it about the look of the project? When you look at some websites, there are some websites that their graphics is so poor, yet they have a lot of functions. So once the clients just, once they get to the landing page, they get discouraged because it's not looking so fine. It's not looking so pretty. So you have to adjust. And there's some websites that when you get to the landing page, you really want to stick to the site. But the site was not well built. But you are still being captivated by what? By the look. So you must know the metrics that you're actually using. Now let me briefly go through the processes. That's the PMI processes of project quality management. So the quality planning, okay, that's where you have to identify the quality objectives, the standards and responsibility, as I've explained. So you do your quality planning. Planning means that you are identifying what are the quality objectives, what does the project owner really expect as the quality on this project, okay? What are the standards, and who am I going to assign the responsibilities of these two? So it is very, very important. So you plan. By planning, what are the steps you will take? You define the quality objectives. You identify the standards. You assign the roles of these roles and responsibilities to your project team. Those ones that the team that will monitor quality of the project. It is not a child's play. In fact, if you work in some organization, you see the role of the quality assurance. I'm going to explain, I'm going to discuss it. you see that it's not a child's play. While I was working in Dangote, we don't joke with those people that are in quality assurance, because your people are already used to your products. Your product must not drop in quality. We know the quality of your products. Once you change some parameters, definitely people will see that, yes, they have your bag, but yet what is inside is not you. Quality is not a child's play. When you see that you are buying your noodles and that noodles has been tasting the same thing, it has been tasting the same thing, the company that is producing it, they maintain that taste. Trust me, their quality assurance, they are working day and night. If you are to mix 10 ml of this, 2 spoons of that, if you make mistake in the production, that 2 spoons become 3 spoons, you are going to have a different taste. And people will now see that it is the name of your noodles that is written on the nylon, but the taste is not given. So you must be able to actually make the plan. It is very, very important. So you make the plan. So when you look at my diagrammatic illustration here, you see that in your quality design, that's when you are making the plan. That is where you monitor your scope management. What you need to do in that case is that what is the scope? Let me manage it to deliver the scope, because it will judge on the quality. That's why you talk about the features, the functionalities, or the size. Okay, and what do you have to actually do? So for you to actually manage this, shortlist your supplier. Okay, and the documents that you are going to actually use to actually monitor the scope must actually be prepared. Then your quality assurance, that's the next process. In quality assurance, you have the processes being put in place so that you can meet the quality objectives that you have set. In the quality plan, in quality planning, what you did is that you set some quality objectives. Now you need to now monitor that quality objective to be sure that what you are doing really meet up with that quality objective that you have actually set. And what are the steps you must take? Quality policies must be developed. It is very important. You must be able to conduct quality audits. Auditing means that you are checking, you are comparing, you are really observing your production staff, if they are really working in line with the policy and if the quality policies that you have set. Then if anything go wrong, it is in this quality assurance you are going to make adjustments. I've seen this being made. If, for example, they will take the sample, they will come to the production line, quality assurance, they will take a few samples of the material that we are making, take it inside the lab, they will go and analyze it. It's a very serious work. They will analyze it. Back then when I worked in cement plants, how much of limestone must be mixed with this, clay must be mixed with that, so that you can have the result, the quality of the cement that we are known to be producing. And then you monitor the quality performance. It also work on your projects. If people are already used, like look at the popular name that Julius Berger have won for themselves. Once they tell you that this road is made by Julius Berger, people don't want to question it. They'll say, no wonder it is this strong. Very, very strong, very, very durable, very, very smooth. Oh, Julius Berger has done a very wonderful work. But once another thing happens like this, people don't want to, they will not even attach that kind of road to Julius Berger. They say, why can't they call Julius Berger to come and make this road? Look at how rough this is. Because they have not even made finding about the contractors that did the road. But they are very sure in their mind that it can never be Julius Berger. Why? They are known with the quality. Their quality is not in question. So you must be able to take correctional measure. It is very important. And then monitor the quality performance. So it is very important. Quality control. Now that you have actually started assuring the quality standards, meeting up with it, the control is just for you to review, okay? To review and make sure that the outcome is actually meeting up with the quality that has actually been said. You are monitoring it. This is where you do, okay, bring it does not meet up, okay, take it back, make corrections, or you bring it again. So you conduct inspections. You inspect, you test it and validate if it's okay or not. And then if it has some defect, you address the defects and implement corrections. It's very important. I have some examples here that I actually put. The construction project implement quality control by, what do they do? They conduct inspections. How do they do their inspections? This company, by doing regular site visits. Because of that, they will be able to spot anything wrong that is going on. So there must be daily site visits. Now after that, they will do testing and validating, meaning that all the materials they are using, they will test them. What kind of cement did they buy? Did they buy it from the company we asked them to buy? How much of the cement how much of cement are they mixing with the sand to mold the block so that we can be sure that the block is actually strong? Identifying and addressing defects. What are they doing? Corrective work. What have you guys done here? This is not what we asked you to do. Break this down, rebuild this again, break the wall here, make an opening there and everything. So they correct on the site work and then implementing corrective actions. After they have actually spotted the correction that have to be done, then they have to implement it to make the process improved. So it is very, very important that we know this. And then the fourth process of the quality control is continuous improvement. When you control your quality, there will always be continuous improvement. Okay? Your continuous improvement, okay, as I've used an example, in the case of training delivery, you must, after every lesson or after every project, conduct what we call lesson learned sessions. What are the lessons you have learned from your project? What are the things you could have done better? What are the things you could have done faster? What are the things you could have spent less on? So that next time when you are doing it, you will not make the same mistake. Analyze all the data. That's what I've been doing in terms of costs, in terms of the scope, in terms of your time that you have used. When you waste time, what wasted your time? Is that the supplier did not actually supply on time and everything. So you analyze this. And then you identify improvement opportunities. Then we are not going to use that supplier again. We are going to use this. Okay, I'm not going to put this particular worker in charge of this place again. This unit is too slow there. It's not good at it. I'm going to use you in this particular unit because that's where you actually can function better. And then you implement it when you have the next opportunity. So let's look at an example of this. A healthcare project implements continuous improvement by, what do they do to actually have a continuous improvement? Conducting lesson learned sessions. That's post-project review. When you are done, what have we done? You review it. Analyzing the quality data. That's the metric analysis, like I've told you. The trainer, did he manage the time well? How was his presentation? Did he engage the attendees? Were there some cross-examining questions? Was he audible? All these must actually they are the things that you will sum up for you to now review that, oh, he has done a fantastic presentation. And you use that application in any project that you are doing also. Identifying improvement opportunity, that's process mapping. What are the processes we have been using that is not really functioning well? Can we change that process? Can we use a shorter way of doing this? Okay. Like a company that is saying that, okay, can we do some things virtual? There are some companies now that they are now reducing the cost of transportation for their staff. They are running hybrid. They have days that you can now come to work instead of before that they have to go to work Monday to Friday. Now they actually what improving themselves to say, okay, these are some work that you can do online. So why don't you stay at home on Monday and you stay at home on Thursday? You only come on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. I have some people like that their company is already running hybrid for them because we cannot afford to pay them more for their transportation. And if you cannot pay them more, let's reduce the days that they are coming to work. Let them work from home. So there can be improvements. And then implementing changes. All these changes you have made, then you have to implement it. Now there are some tools here that can really help you to monitor your quality. Okay. I've chosen a very fantastic one to discuss. We have Six Sigma because we have trainings in all this. We have lean trainings. I don't know, lean training might be coming up next month or so. Okay. So we have a lot of them. They're actually training on that, but I'm going to actually analyze a very good one for you. That's the fishbone diagram. But before we move on, let's analyze the diagram for us to really for us to flow through everything I've explained under the quality. So when you look at this diagram, it will help you to actually grab immediately. So the process is that the first design, the process that your project will go through. So when you have made your design of how the flow of the project will be, then you determine the control limits. What is the limit of the control that you have over the project? And then you move to running the project, the process. This is where you start executing what you have actually earlier designed. And then you take the samples and measure them. What you have now done, take one sample out of it, measure it. What are you checking? You want to check the quality of what you have actually made. Like I gave you an example of those who are actually into manufacturing. They just take a little sample to go and analyze it. Is it really giving us all the things that does it taste like our products? Okay. In project, you will have to do that also. It might not actually be in something edible. So then the question we now ask is that, are the samples within the control limit? Is it really in line with what we have set as the standard? If your answer is no, then you have to feed this back to at the control limit correct. So you have to go back and correct it. It might even ask you to say that yes, it is actually correct. So then you feed it back to redesign and then you come down again. Or if it is no, then you determine the control limit again. So if the control limit has not been actually it did not meet up with the correct limit, then you have to feed it back to determining the control limit. And if coming down again, if what you have is yes, then it means that you have to ask the question, does the control chart indicate an assignable cause for errors? If it is no, then you feed it back to run the process. You go and run the process. If it is yes, then you come back to designing it. It's just a way of showing you the loop of how you design your test. If it does not meet up with the quality, you send it back. If it meets up, then you pass it on that it has actually meet up with your quality as stated earlier in the course of the project. So I'm going to analyze fishbone diagram that as a tool that you can use in testing the quality. Now, when do we use the fishbone diagram? There are two things you must note. You use it when you are identifying possible causes for a problem. When you have a problem at hand on a project, and you really want to fish out what the problem is. So you can use fishbone diagram to analyze it. And when your team members, when they are thinking, does not really seem like they know what is actually going on. Their thoughts about when you're asking them questions is not really deep. They sound like they are clueless about what the problem is. Then you can use what fishbone to actually what do the analysis. I'm going to actually what show you a very correct way to do, and I'm going to use an illustration to drive it home. So the first thing first is that you have to agree on what the problem is. For example, okay, if the problem is burnt material, let's say burnt material is the problem. So if the problem is a burnt material, okay, then you call your team together. The next stage of the fishbone is that after you know what the problem is, you need to actually brainstorm. You need to first make what we call hypothesis. You have not tested what the problem may be. What could actually make our material to get burnt? You're asking them. So some of them can suggest, oh, maybe it's methodologies. So the method that we actually use in producing it, maybe is what gets it burnt. You will list the main categories of what the problem might be. Problem that can actually cause, just like you are saying that what there's a fire outbreak. In these units where we have fire outbreak, what are the things that can cause fire in these what units? Because you really want to get to the root of what really caused that fire. So you need to start listing the categories of things that can cause fire. So in the case of the burnt material, and I'm just using as an example, you can say metals, the machine equipment, maybe the machine is not functioning well. Maybe the people are the one that make that mistake. They did not stop the machine on time, or they were just gisting and talking when the process was going on. Maybe the material itself that we use is bad. Maybe the quality of the material is bad, or maybe the correct measurement was not actually what made. Okay, is measurement, and it might be that the environment is not what good. There are some material. Maybe the environment has to be chilled. There are some products that you see, like most of these spices that you see, the company where they make them, they call them cold room. Okay? The place where they are going to make them must be very cold, especially if it must actually form a shape like cubic shape, cuboid shape, and all that. So it might be that it's not chill enough, and that is why we have this kind of what result. So you do that. Now, how do you draw the fishbone diagram? Okay. How do you actually go through the methodology? I'm going to be showing you one by one. Then let me use my whiteboard to analyze it, and then we have our. So you go to the right hand side, because of course when you are doing this, you're actually making use of when you go to company where they are analyzing this, you can do it on the board. There are some softwares that can help you, but you can actually do it on the board, on the whiteboard. So you're assuming that what your team members are seated right now, you want to brainstorm. So you say, you go to the right hand side. You can see my whiteboard. You go to the right hand side, you state the problem. State the problem, burnt material. Burnt material. I want to show you how to actually prepare the fishbone diagram. So in this right hand side, you frame that problem that you have written, you frame it in the rectangular shape. And then when you have framed it, then you draw an horizontal line to it. Okay? Draw an horizontal line that touch this. And then you can start what? From this horizontal line, start branching out all the major cores that you have stated. Branch them out. Branch them out. You can have as many as possible. Branch them out. That's methods. Branch methods out. Machines. Branch it out like this. People. Branch it out. Environment. Okay. The material itself. Branch it out. Measurement is not correct. measurement, branch it out. Now you have been able to see the major categories. Now you now start analyzing them one by one and branching out from their tree. The tree of the method is this one. So you can easily what? Branch out whatever may be what the problem. In the methods, what are the possible things that could be wrong with the method? Wrong interpretation, you branch it out. Possible thing. Wrong interpretation, maybe that's the method. Wrong application, wrong application of the method. So you will be writing possible things. If it's the machine overheating, could it be overheating? Okay. Could it be that what? For maintenance on the machine, you write it. For maintenance. So you write all, you will be branching out all the possible things on that, so that you will be taking them, one by one and be analyzing it. Then you will now check. Was the method interpreted wrongly? No, you strike that out. Was this? So you write everything whatsoever. And this is you and your team that are actually working on it. So the fishbone method predicted that the tree where you have less information about it, let's say you don't really, your members, your team members couldn't give you enough information that, okay, what could actually be wrong with the environment? Let's say they are clueless. That is where you should focus. That is the possible place where the problem lies. You see, the other ones that you have been able to write wrong methodology, wrong this, and you have analyzed them, you see that those ones, they are not there, but you are printing them out. But when you have less information, pay attention to that place. That is the place where you are likely to be having what? Issues. So you have what? You can see a very complex one. It doesn't matter. You can branch out. Even from here, you can branch out another what? Problem, another one here, another one here. Okay, just for you to see a robust view of what the problems might be. So I want to really appreciate you for being with us on project cost management and project quality management. So in the next class, we'll be dealing with project human resource management. Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Over to you.
Okay. I want to especially appreciate our trainer, Mr. James, for that wonderful session. It has been quite an engaging one. Okay, yes, thank you. Lots of accolades coming out there from many of our participants. Okay, so let's go to questions straight up. Questions. Bring down this page. Okay, so please, if you have your questions, if you have questions for the resource person, for the trainer, please signify by raising your hands. Signify by raising your hand so we can deal with those questions. So in today's class, we've been able to deal with two knowledge areas. We concluded with project cost management and also project quality management. Okay, so they're expecting to get to assessments at the end of today's class. Mr. Morufo Dusanya. Morufo Dusanya, I can see your hands. Please unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just want to know, thank you very much for this session. I've gone through the list of certifications.
You are sounding quite far away.
Hello?
You are sounding quite far away.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay, I said I've seen the list of certifications that you listed out for us to maybe pay for. I just want to know if the lectures we are having now, okay, maybe starting from introduction to project management up to where we are now, which is the quality management. I just want to know if this is just an overview, as in, okay, maybe a summary of each of this area of specializations. Like, okay, me now I intend to do cost management and procurement management. So I would like to know if what we've done on cost management is just a kind of summary. If okay, maybe by the time I put in for the certification proper, as in it's going to be a broader session. So that's just what I want to know, sir.
Okay. I get your question correctly. Okay, let me allow the resource person to attend to that question. I'm still trying to see because your audio was actually going off and on. But let me see if our resource person captured the question properly. Okay, do we have any other questions? So I might still call you, Mr. Moruf, to maybe restate your question. Because, okay, resource person just off the class. Do we have any other question? Okay, Mr. Moruf, if you can hear me, please, I will just need you to recap. So, because I didn't capture your question properly, honestly.
Can I give answers to questions?
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out if you heard the question, sir.
I think
okay.
I captured little out of his question. I think
Okay.
Mr. Morov is just bothered about he's actually putting in for 2 certifications, and because we have actually entered into quality, so he's talking about the quality management. That's but I want to believe that Mr. Morov actually started with us. Normally, if you want to do the project quality management, there are a lot of things that we need to talk about. There are a lot of things we need to discuss. But the advantage that we are... Can you hear me? Can I still go on?
Please go ahead, sir.
So the advantage that we have now, that you will see that most of our knowledge area now, they may begin to be short just because we have done much when we started the course. Take, for instance, if you want to do quality management, definitely all the introductions that we have done, all the knowledge that we have done in project integration has given us a broader view. So when the trainer will deal with it now, we will just be able to go straight to the point. And when you see the materials that is going to be attached with your certificate, you understand what I'm talking about. The material is quite detailed, but the ability of the trainer is just that the bulky materials that you have are things that you can actually chunk down. You can chunk them down within the little time frame due to the good foundations that we have laid. So I will implore you, please go through the session of today again. When the video is being dropped, go through the session of today again. When you go through the session, if there are gray areas that you have, of course you have access on our group. So reach out to me as the trainer, and then we'll deal with it. But after you get your material also, if you see that there is any area of the material on the quality management that is not touched, you're also free to reach out to me. But I can tell you that those key areas have actually been dealt with, because we already have a good foundation when we started. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Mr. Moruf.
Sir?
Okay.
Yeah. What I'm doing, or what I plan to do, is cost management and procurement management, not quality. Cost management, procurement management.
We are still going to go there. It's still one of the material get that, sir? Did you get that, sir, Mr. Moruf?
No, you are breaking.
There is still a section on procurement management. We are not gotten there. We are following it in order according to the technology. We have to go to procurement management. Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I think your side is interfering with Okay, so I want to appreciate everyone who has made it to today's class. We've actually dealt with a whole lot in today's class. And I want to inform you that yes, we'll be dropping 2 assessments at the end of this class. So we'll be expecting an assessment on project cost management and an assessment on project quality management. So please, I would encourage you to please try as much as possible to attend to those assessments. So please, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube page, we implore you to please do that for us. Go to our page. Once we drop the recorded video, just click on our YouTube page, our channel, then you hit the subscribe button so that you'll be able to get ample notification of the other classes or some other courses that we are going to be offering as time goes on. So I want to say thank you to everyone, and please, Mr. Joseph Irapo, would love to have your feedback of today's class. Joseph Irapo, if you can hear me, can you unmute your mic? We'd love to get your feedback of the class so far. Joseph, are you there? Okay. Kehinde Olatunji, if you can hear me, please, we'll also have your feedback. Okay. Joseph, okay. Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, I'm here.
Please go ahead. We'll love to have your feedback on the class.
On the class today.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually I would have to revisit the lectures because I was kind of caught up in something at where I am working on something right now. So I was just listening, but I wasn't really paying attention. I just want to be present. Then I'll listen to it later and I'll get back to you if there's any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. That's fine. Mr. Kehinde Olatunji, can we get your feedback of the class?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Moderator. Good morning, presenter. I really enjoyed, which I also believe my other colleagues too will. It's very engaging, interesting, new ideas that have just been popping up in my mind, how to do things going forward, and then it's really interesting. They are not new, but they're also new, and the way the presenter presented it, the lecturer is really simplified and understand. So when you're even reading, it will be understandable. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate that coming from you. Thank you so much. And thank you for being in attendance. Yes, a lot of people, you know, maybe due to workload and everything, they've not been able to make their presence in class. So, but moving on, I want to believe many of them are going back to watch the recorded video once we drop them on the platform. So I want to say a very big thank you to everyone. So tomorrow we are going to take start with another knowledge area. I think we should be dealing with project stakeholder or human resource, either of the two, human resource management particularly. I think we should be dealing with project human resource management tomorrow, which is actually very another important knowledge area as far as this course is concerned. So please, you don't want to miss tomorrow's class. Yes, in as much as we deal with people in whatever we do, people are majorly the resources that we deal with day in, day out. So you don't want to miss tomorrow's class. Learning how to deal with different set of people, and how do you ensure that yes, your project is not put on hold because of not understanding the relationship between people. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. So till we meet again in tomorrow's class, do have a productive and a lovely day ahead. Yes, before we go, I forgot to mention the certification as well. The informations you need are there already. Take note, the deadline for the discount payment is 3rd of May. So please make your plans towards that. And I'm sure that, yes, I wouldn't want you to miss out on the discount offer for the certification. So thank you very much, everyone. See you again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye.